We haven't forgotten. And we will never forget.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. As the intro and title suggest, you guys already know I'm going to be talking about Infamous, one of my favorite franchises next to Batman Arkham, Spider-Man, and also Devil May Cry and a couple others. I honestly thought this franchise was dead and gone because there's been no news from Sucker Punch about it. But luckily, we actually got an interview with Game Informer with Nate Fox that gave us some insight about the future of the franchise, breaking down the info of what he actually said. Despite how late I am on this subject, I'm going to be talking about my own personal opinions on it and some of my own ideas for the future of the franchise later on near the end of the video. So let's take a look-see at what he actually said during this interview and break it down. I will have the article linked in the description so you guys can check it out. Near the end of the interview, Game Informer asked,
would you ever be open to revisiting Infamous? Maybe for a trilogy re-release or something like that?
And Nate Fox's response was the following: I would love to work on more Infamous. I would love to see a trilogy re-release. But Sucker Punch is a one-game studio at a time. And right now, we're very focused on finishing Ghost of Yotei, which this one statement confirms three different things. The first and obvious is the fact that Infamous is not freaking dead.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening. What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Fox doesn't outright say that Infamous is dead or gone. He actually outright says that he wants to do something with it. He'd love to work on another Infamous-related project. He doesn't cancel that idea out. And he also follows that up with saying that he would love to see a re-release of the original games. Now, this is something that the Infamous fandom has been wanting for a very long time. Remaster or a remake of the original two games. Now, they do say something I disagree with because of the question, and I'll get into that later. The final thing that Nate Fox does say does answer a question that I had regarding what's going on with Infamous, and the fact is that they only do one game at a time because of the fact that they are a singular studio. They don't have multiple branches like Insomniac or other studios do, even if they are under the PlayStation banner. So there is actually hope for the future of the Infamous franchise in getting a remaster finally of the older games, and also maybe a sequel. Now, getting into my own personal opinions on this whole thing, I am going to rewind back to what I said earlier. I said there was something I disagreed with in this interview. I meant the fact that they asked a question on re-releasing the Infamous trilogy. I do agree with the fact that the games need a re-release. I don't agree with the fact that they use the word trilogy. Infamous Second Son is a blatantly unfinished game, and it wasn't intended to be what they wanted for a sequel to Infamous for a third game. And also, considering the fact that First Light was actually a standalone spin-off side game, I feel like that should be included as well, so it would be 4 games, not 3. And the only way for Second Son to really count as a part of the trilogy is to fix the game a part of the re-release. I've already talked about this subject, but that's neither here nor there. I blatantly know that they're not going to do that. So, let's get into the future of Infamous with what I would like to see and stuff like that, starting with a remaster or re-release. Now, when it comes to this, I do feel like this would be very likely, but also very difficult at the same time, because yes, we could obviously update the graphics. Yes, we could update the gameplay ever so slightly and make it a little bit better when it comes to the karma and stuff like that. What brand new content could we really add and fix fundamental problems when it comes to the original experience as well? With the age of remasters and remakes, don't really update anything outside of the graphics and a little bit of the controls and gameplay. Really, just try to update the game to make it look pretty, and Infamous isn't designed to completely look pretty. Instead of focusing so much on the graphics, let's actually focus on the combat, gameplay, and so on. The elements of Infamous, the parkour system, grinding on wires, and your electricity powers, and the karma system, which is something that could be updated ever so slightly. Personally, the choice system in the Infamous games was kind of dated. It got worse in Infamous Second Son, so maybe a remaster could rework the choice system to give it a little bit more depth. Obviously, because it is a remaster of those old games, they might keep it the exact same, which would frustrate a lot of people because it would just be a black and white system that would show its age. So I propose something that's a little bit of a middle ground where you do have choices, but it is a little bit like Ghost of Tsushima and also like Detroit Become Human, where it could be black and white, but it also could be a bit gray. As for ideas when it comes to Cole's gameplay and stuff like that, the one thing from Infamous 1 that I do want them to rework and tweak is how these encounters are framed around around your powers and how you could strategize with stuff in the environment, leaning towards where you can use it against enemies in combat, to where, unlike Infamous 2 where they just threw a bunch of enemies at you, I feel like the environment could be utilized a little bit more, just like they did in Infamous Second Son, but a little bit differently. As for Empire City and also the level design, we could slightly tweak it a little bit more. Pulling a little bit from Infamous Second Son and also Spider-Man and Batman, you give Cole more options to where you can fight in the streets and use the environment a little bit more, and adjust Cole's traversal to give him a lot more options and treat Empire City like a giant playground and an urban jungle, giving Cole a lot more traversal abilities, a little bit from Skyrim and also Mirror's Edge and stuff like that, giving him more parkour abilities. And also, there are a lot of things that I feel like I want to talk about for my ideas for an Infamous remastered collection when it comes to side missions, other various things, but we don't have that time. So let's move on to actual Infamous sequel. Now, obviously, there are many ways that they could go for a sequel. Continuing off the back of Second Son would be the first route. Do I like this idea? No, but I do think it could actually happen because they did set it up with the ending of Second Son. This way it gives Delson's story a definitive conclusion. We're making another Infamous First Light type of game where we're following a different character, more specifically Brooke Augustine, which I think is the most likely. Another route that they could actually go was continuing the route of Infamous with a different character in their entirety, just like they did with Delson. Another route for a sequel that we can finally have is basically giving us the evil ending finally canon, finally giving us the story that they originally planned when it comes to that ending. Because of Second Son, we got to see a future of what would have happened if the good ending was canon. Let's actually see the opposite. Let's see Beast Cole McGrath finally get that story that we originally promised. Also, it does open the door for a Kessler video game, and with a series that has time travel ripped into it and other various things, it would make the most sense to do something interesting. For us to finally see what Kessler's future really was and who was the Beast in that timeline, which would have been interesting. Maybe there's some type of time loop. Who actually knows? It does give me some interesting Infamous related ideas for videos sometime in the future, and if you guys do want to see those, let me know in the comments down below. You guys know the drill. Make sure to give this video a like if you guys did enjoy it, and if you didn't, leave a dislike. It's perfectly fine. If you guys are new, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button to be notified whether I upload, whether it's Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, Infamous, or other related content, Darksiders, and so on and so forth. Have a good rest of your guys' day, morning, afternoon, night, or whatever it is for you in the world, and peace out. Bye-bye.